Hogan's Alley, the game we want to play. With hosts Ryan and Terry, it's Crokinole UK. Drain those open 20s, stack those buttons high. It's the greatest game on earth. Tune in and find out why. Hogan's Alley will get you in the mood. Don't go buying Crokinole from where it goes in the nude. Hogan's Alley, it's time to play the game. It's the greatest game on earth. Crokinole's its name.
Good morning, good evening, good day, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is, and wherever in the Crokinole universe you are, welcome back to another episode of Hogan's Alley, where I am joined, as ever, by the beautiful, bearded Mr. Ryan Anthony.
Ah, beautiful. What a lovely thing to say. You're looking radiant yourself, sir.
Oh, thank you.
And we have another special guest for this episode. The equally radiant and beautiful Jase, the Ace Noble, has joined us.
Good evening, my friends. I think it's only radiant because the light is shining off this very fair head of mine.
Not just been out
It's
in
kind
the
of
sun.
like a halo you've got going there.
Well, I try.
Saint Jason. Patron
Awesome.
saint of Crokinistas. When you die, I'm getting you canonized, mate.
Do it. Turn me into some buttons.
End up with his, his Crokinole board being like a holy relic that does a tour around different churches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, noble coin, noble board.
They'll be like icons in churches with the halo, but it'll be like a Crokinole kind of board halo.
Stained glass.
Gold leaf. There we go.
Awesome.
That's the episode.
So-
Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. It's lovely having you. So cool. We're here to talk about Airecon and the Crokinole Classic, but a bit about Airecon itself as well. So, Jason, Terry, how was your Airecon?
I had a lovely Airecon. We got there Thursday afternoon, I think, round about when the convention opened. So Greg and I went outside our hotel, which was immediately over the road from the convention centre, so that was dead handy. Saw there was a queue, and we just went up to the pub and had a couple of pints and some pizza, and then went back and got our passes, and then just kind of floated around the rest of the weekend. I managed to get a couple of other games in, two of which were involving the people here.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, Ryan and I got a very shonky game of Rebellion in on Friday afternoon.
That's the longest game of Star Wars Rebellion ever played. I'm sure it was.
It was all my fault as well. I thought I could remember how to play it, but it turned into, can you teach me how to play this game again, Ryan? Because I've forgotten.
The thing is as well that so many people were walking past who were seeing us, obviously, Crokinole players and just other gamers that we know and stuff as well. So like every 5 minutes it was another distraction, wasn't it? And that's another 10, 15 minutes gone. And then you're trying to remember where you were and everything. It was still good fun though. It was great to play it and it was a good laugh.
Yeah. And of course we had the Crokinole on the Saturday, which I'm sure we'll talk some more about. And Jason ran some Blood in the Croktower for all the willing Crokinistas. And Sunday I just went to the pub and watched the football, got thoroughly depressed, and went back home to the hotel and had a nap. We won't talk about the football.
That's fine. But we'll mutually agree that we won't do that.
Yeah.
So, Jason, how was your experience?
Yeah, it was great. I have never been to Airecon before, so that was new for me. We had a very, very early start. The Bear, Paddington, and I think we left at about 5:30, and trekked up there, and at least we didn't have to queue up to get in. We literally walked in, took our passes, and got there. But yeah, very, very enjoyable. Lovely to see everybody. I am starting to genuinely, and I know I've said this before, but I am starting to genuinely look forward to these events more of the social side rather than actually playing the game, as much as the game is a massive part of it still. But I genuinely get very excited when I know I'm going to see you guys and, obviously the stalwarts that we see at every one. And then it was fun to go from that into, like Terry's alluded to, the Blood on the Croktower, which was a 14-person, very, very difficult to concentrate on after the early start and the long day, but I think everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, you did a great job. You were an excellent storyteller.
Well, I try.
Yeah.
It was great fun. It was good fun, and I was immediately untrustworthy by everyone. So that
What's
sounds
new?
about right. And yeah, exactly. And my increasing rivalry with Mr. James Tenby, the Bebop himself, is growing every game we play, whether it's Crokinole or not.
Yeah, it was a good game.
I will say, and spoilers for later, I finished above him in the Airecon results, and I am deliberately.
Oh, yeah.
I know, and I've deliberately saved saying it to him at all for the podcast.
Yeah, but how did you get on in Scotland?
I didn't play. Didn't play, So immediately 50 points for absenteeism. But yeah, no, it was. I thought it was great. Aircon's great fun. It's because obviously it leans heavily towards the playing of games rather than the purchasing and the kind of commercial side of it. I think it just carries like an atmosphere where it does feel like a load of people just got together to have a really good time, which I think is always a nice thing. It's not without its issues. I think that those are kind of well documented. Not going to go into those on this, but I think that obviously Mark, who organises it, does a really good job considering how much it's grown in such a short space of time, and just kind of managing that number of people. I think in a way where it still feels friendly and inclusive, and there's still access to things like a fantastic games library. The bring and buy seem to be really popular again. Loads of games kind of getting sold through that. Good. The retailers that were there were good, and yeah, I think it was a good event, for sure.
Aircon's a bit of a strange one for me because I always go, and I'm playing less and less games every time I go there. Although this year was a bit of an upturn, because there were other games played. But it's mainly I just see people there that I probably won't anywhere else. And that you've got to know over the years that you've been going there, and it's just a lot of it's just hanging out with pals, to be honest. And if you get some games in, even better.
I think I did see, like, as the evening wore on as well, everyone obviously there's still loads of games being played, but you did see like groups who were just having, sort of chilling together, having a drink and stuff like, and there'll be people they've met, and like Jason was saying, the social side of not only just our events but the conventions in general is a big draw for sure, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. It's brilliant. It's yeah. I mean, as much as I love Crokinole, I could play it all day, every day. It's one of those things. Like I said, the thing I love about it most is that I could just keep playing it, and I genuinely don't ever get bored. And actually, just to add to that conversation, being in the job that I'm in, and the constant amount of work that I have to do, I was saying to people after the last podcast came out, the one thing I didn't mention, it's almost like therapy for me. I can sit and flick a few 20s and forget about everything else apart from that disc sliding towards the hole, and it's just brilliant. You just lose yourself in it for as long as you sit there, don't you? And it is that's why I love these weekends.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, Crokinole mindfulness. It's the new Zen way to be more productive.
That's right.
In life.
And if you do it with a fish tank in the background, it's even better.
Yeah, it makes you sound like you've got an enormous bladder.
If you did
this is just for Hogan's Alley aficionados. That joke.
If you did the timing of the discs all in a certain way, it would be like almost like metronomic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be like click, click, click.
Yeah.
Something about that noise of sinking a 20 as well, isn't there? Special.
Well, let's talk about the Crokinole then. We've kind of segued into it. Terry, you were the Master in Chief for the Crokinole Classic. Do you want to lead us through the format a little bit, just quickly, and then kind of how the day went?
Yeah, well, the day went well thanks to you and Ian Witt for organising the draw in the morning, because in typical Terry Brown Airecon fashion, we were running a bit late, but there we are.
I will say, the new format that you did come up with, though, actually didn't make that was such a problem anymore, really.
Yes.
We had a lot more time to play with, didn't we?
Yeah. So I think we set out to have a maximum of 72 players. We fell a little bit shy of that with 68. They were split across 4 groups in the morning of 8 players each, with the afternoon being 4 groups of 9 players each. Some familiar names there. So coming out in the morning from group 1 was Ian Witt and Fuzzy, Mark Forster. But snapping on their heels were Chloe and Josh and Becca Todd. all kind of vying out in the kind of, there was a good pack in the middle of that group.
Yep.
Stephen Mayfield. Well done, Stephen Mayfield. That was a bit of a surprise package for me.
Yep.
And Sam Breeze going through from Group 2 in the morning. So Alex Herrell missing out there. Josh Bailey and Paul, whose surname isn't there, also put in a good performance in Group 2. Group 3 saw Ian Hayward and Chris Robinson go through. Ryan, you just missed out by a handful of points, 3 points.
I know. I was happy with how I played.
If you got those 3 points, you were dominating on the 20s.
Yeah, I was happy with how I played. I just silly mistakes and a few drop points here and there made all the difference. A particular highlight, just because he's such a good player, was I did beat Chris 5-3, which always pleased to beat a top 10 player, because it's it just means you're playing well. But then you drop silly points against another player and you're like, ah. But yeah, high quality. Ian and Chris are good players, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Group 4 from the mornings saw Jack Butcher and Dean French go through. So Chris Griffin missing out. Matthew Whiteside was there or thereabouts, along with Mike F as well. Mm-hmm. So again, a bit of a surprise one. Chris not going through, although Jack and Dean no mugs.
No. I did speak to Chris briefly, and he sort of said he just wasn't wasn't quite in the zone that day.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, Jack's an excellent player, particularly.
Yeah.
That is surprising about Chris, isn't it? Chris is very good.
Yeah, he didn't have. I don't think he had his magic shirt on.
Well, do you know what? Yeah, that is it. It's synonymous, isn't it?
So that gave us a knockout that we did in the morning, which was the winner of, was it Group 1 against second place in Group 4 and vice versa, all the way down, which saw Dean beat Ian, Fuzzy beating Jack Butcher, Chris beating Steve Mayfield, and Sam beating Ian Hayward.
Yeah.
So that was the 4 names that progressed to the quarterfinals after the afternoon session.
Interesting.
Are we sitting comfortably? Shall I rattle through the PM now?
Well, I was going to say, what's interesting, though, just about that knockout phase, is that every player that finished in second place was the one that went through.
That did no happen in the afternoon, though.
Isn't it interesting? Because it's like you just put in front of a different player and, off you go. So, yeah.
3 8-0s as well.
Wow.
I know. Ian, I felt sorry for Ian. He was absolutely gutted because he played so well in his group. And then the moment it hit a knockout, he just seemed to...
It's a different game. It's a different game then.
Yeah, just collapsed. He couldn't handle it mentally.
Yeah. So, afternoon?
The afternoon, okay. So the 4 groups, although with an extra player in each, so they're running with 9 in each group. Just the way things worked out with a few kind of no-shows and a few last-minute additions.
Uh-huh.
So Group 1, Mike Ray won that one fairly comfortably. Some guy called Jason Noble squeaked through in second place. I don't know if that was deserved or not, because
squeaked is a good verb as well, because unfortunately I had to knock my mate out.
Yeah, you did. Padder's looking at you, 2 points adrift. Ben Roylant's also in that group. Peter Rowley, who's recently signed up for the Masters.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Dunn's a name I recognise, and I can't remember where from or why.
I tell you what, Ben is one to watch. Ben's really come on. Yeah.
Well, you look at those points. You got you with 48, Jason, Mark 46, Ben 42. So close together, really squeezing through.
Yeah, I got an absolute rollicking off the supercomputer that is Mike Ray. And and luckily I beat Mark 6-2, so I'll just drop that in.
He didn't. He didn't just leave then. He didn't just leave, and it's like you make your own way.
Yeah, imagine that. See you on Monday.
Screw you, buddy. You're getting the train. Group 2, Tom Curry with I think the highest points from the kind of group, 63 was just ridiculous.
Just doing Tom things, you know.
Just doing Tom things, yeah.
Hang on.
Nailing 71-20s while he was at it.
Is that one dropped point? 60. It's 8 games, right?
Yes.
8 times 8.
Yeah.
64.
1 drop point.
That is crazy.
He's annoying, isn't he? Annoying.
Machine-like. Woody finished second, Alan Wood, on 52 points.
Finding some form again, which is good.
Then again, a bit of a pack with Ben Hackney-Williams, Katie Hunter-Choate, James Hennessy, Samantha Tweedle, Jeff Munchmunt. Yeah, pretty tight stuff.
Absolutely.
Group number 3, Mark Thurling, the Jack of Spades himself, went through along with Joel Klassen. So Joel taking great pleasure in not only knocking out Mark Grist, but James Temby, Gareth Middleton, some experienced Crokinistas. And Joel just rocking up and teaching them how to play. Love to see it. Group number 4, Joe Tegeltia won that group with Tom Lawton backing him up. Robert Klassen, who I think is Joel's father. Now, memory serves me, they're from Vancouver. I might be wrong. Pretty sure it was Vancouver because I was talking to Rob quite a bit during our game. Elbows up, Rob, if you're listening. Elbows up. I finished 4th in that. James Shackleton was just a couple of points behind me with Matty Macro just below that. Michael Robinson. Afternoon knockout, so Mike Ray beating Tom Lawton, that is. Joe Tegeltia beating Jason Noble. Tom Curry beating Joel Klassen, and Alan Wood beating Mark Thurling. They then went on to be just blind draws. I won't bore you with all the results, but the 3rd and 4th playoff game was won 11-7 in favour of Mike Ray, and becoming the first ever player to win back-to-back Airecon Crokinole Classics, Tom Curry beating Joe Tegeltia 12-4 in the final. So well done, Tom.
Absolutely.
All that practice with me and Paddington and George has paid off.
I think it also, it's also worth pointing out that huge thanks to Steve Mellors of Maplewood for his support with this tournament. A few months ago, Steve kindly offered, kind of messaged me and kindly offered to supply all the boards for this, to which my reply was brilliant. So that saved a lot of behind the scenes shenanigans and having to transport too many boards down. So huge thanks to Steve for that. I'd hope you've, I'm sure you will have got some feedback on them over the course of the weekend. I know that you're already you're already replacing the pegs on these boards just to get a bit faster action. And we really look forward to seeing what the kind of final release ones are like when it goes to Kickstarter later on this year.
I will say, kind of just as the tournament in general, good vibes all day. Like everyone seemed really happy playing. And also, even though we're kind of out of the way of like the main gaming section there, we're upstairs on the balcony, there's still a load of events, isn't there, going on in the event room just off the side. So loads of people stopping, just kind of watching the games going on and so on, which I always think adds a little bit to the event throughout the day. So well done yourself, Terry, for running it so well. And I think, I mean, Tom was ultimately a worthy winner. Just kind of mention for Joe as well, because Joe was 3rd last year, was pushed himself up into 2nd this year. I do think one day he will maybe pick up a tournament win.
Absolutely.
At some point, because I think he's a very good player.
Yeah. He's a difficult one to play against, is Welsh Joe, because he's such a lovely man, and I couldn't. Yeah, I just didn't want to knock him out. I think that was the problem.
Notable last-minute absence was Steve Burrows, who did arrive on the Friday night, went out for dinner with the Tembys. And all I'm saying is James Temby was going around telling people, "You're welcome," the next day.
Tactical Temby.
That's all I'm saying. Now, read into that what you will.
You know when you've been Tembied.
I've already made my mind up. You know when you've been Tembied, indeed. So, Steve, hope you're feeling better. James, shame on you.
This podcast is just going to turn into just us slandering James Temby the whole time, basically, isn't it?
I was thinking we could maybe do a Patreon special for that.
Can I come on that one, please?
We'll do
We'll do a phone-in.
And we'd probably get more responses than the previous episode. To be
Could be a Tembi-thon.
So all in all, I think a fairly successful
Yeah.
weekend down in Airecon. Hopefully we'll be invited back next year, and we'll see if we can do it a little bit bigger and a little bit better.
Yeah, I think just kind of bringing up something we were talking about before we jumped on the recording, Jason mentioning about how each tournament, it kind of feels like you meet loads of new players as well. And I think this Airecon was definitely a prime example of that. A lot of people trying it out for the first time in terms of a tournament setting. Some people had only kind of found Crokinole the day before. Some who'd only been playing casually, or who'd been playing for a few months, or had seen it in other events and so on. So I think as much as the convention type games present a slight different challenge, because obviously the cost is higher to enter because you have to get into the event and then pay to take part and so on. I do think we mentioned it before, but the value that they have in terms of giving people an opportunity to come and play in a tournament and seeing how welcoming and how much fun those tournaments can be, I think is probably invaluable in reality.
I played against a really good a lady that had not, I think they'd recently bought a board, but she was a Karen player. And her 20s were very good, considering, a lot of us found the 20s a little bit harder. She hit a few against me off the bat, and sometimes you sit down against someone that goes, I've not really played this before. And then naively you think, okay, this is good for me. And then 1, 2, 3 straight in the hole.
We just have to watch out for the Quran players.
You do.
Yeah. Beware
the other
players.
thing, just jumping on it, and again, this is a testament to the people. It's so lovely to see, good players or players that have played for a few years now letting new players have do-overs on shots. I think that's really sweet, because actually when you're playing someone good and, they don't go for the disc, like they've got the understanding of the rules wrong and go for a 20 where they need to hit a disc, or, they bounce off a peg or something. And it's quite nice, isn't it? Just to go on, have that one again. I think that is, even though it's competitive, it's still very friendly and very welcoming.
Yeah. And if no other discs is moved, then why not?
Absolutely. There's no ultimately the whole point of what we're trying to do is grow the game, right? We want more people playing it. We want more people playing it consistently. And the last thing you want to do is absolutely trounce someone and then just go away feeling rubbish. It doesn't help anyone, does it? Because you haven't. It's a bit of a hollow victory, and then also you've just made someone feel just a bit, like I said, just a bit rubbish, and that's not a nice thing.
I think it's all always done in good humour, though, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll need to speak to Tom Curry. I think if he only dropped 1 point, we'll just need to speak to him.
Yeah, tell him how the rest of us were playing. He didn't get the memo. Clearly, he got the T-shirt, but not the memo.
Yeah. Yes, let's talk about the ever increasing amount of Crokinole related apparel that people are wearing. The number of custom shirts grows once more, including yours, Jason, which was excellent.
Well, it's all thanks to George Chopper McCarthy. That is, he got them for gifts for the sort of Surrey Crokinole crew, which includes Mark, Katie, Tom, myself, and Ilya, who's been to a few tournaments. So very, very kind of George, and it was very exciting waiting to unwrap it in the car on the way up, because I had no idea what was going to be on it. I had to pick a number, but other than that, I was in the dark, more than I normally am.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's great to see. I love the way that people kind of buying into that. It just makes it so. Again, it just adds to the kind of fun of it all, doesn't it?
Well, it's funny, isn't it, when you sit down opposite a new player and they go, "Crikey, you've got a shirt. You must be good." I went, "Oh, don't let this fool you."
Yeah. All the gear, no
Absolutely.
idea. So all the tour results are now live on the Crokinole UK website. Go and check those out. And there's been 4 events now, so a number of people have been to 3 or more. So you're starting to kind of get a sense of where the rankings are going to be towards the end of the season. But obviously there's 2 big events still to come up. So we'll see kind of how that changes things up. But yeah, let's take a quick break.
You're right. something to hold it that right there it, they'll put you right. Baby, take me to hold it that I need you have a thinking tonight.
I'm not actually sure which jingle we went with, but that was Jason's fault. So
You're
thanks,
very
Jason.
welcome.
Yeah, cheers, Jase.
It's slightly unnerving knowing the ones I sent you.
We've got an absolute arsenal of these now.
Oh, I'm glad you said article.
Gladly, well, yeah.
So expect more. Is all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Little, like the Spanish Inquisition. Right. Yeah. So Airecon's done and dusted. So we're now getting into really the absolute home stretch for the season. Like the table is starting to take place with enough competitors on 3 results. Steve Burrow's only on 2, but 2 perfects. So
Not a bad place to be.
that's always quite nice. Not a bad place to be. Which takes us on. The bandwagon rolls on and moves ever so slightly across country over the Pennines to the UK Masters new home in Manchester.
Yes.
Ryan, what can you tell us about the Masters?
So the Masters take place 26th of April, and we're nearly sold out. We have 1 ticket remaining at the point of recording. It might be gone by the time you hear this. And yeah, it's going to be a full-on day of Crokinole. We're going to be doing a full every player plays every player round robin.
Yes.
Madness.
I know. So going all in, it's going to be effectively at the end of the day, which is going to league format it. So you play everyone once. Your results are your results, and we'll do a league kind of based off that. We'll do any tie breaks off the 20s. If they're still tied, we'll do a head-to-head kind of comparison. And if they tied that, then we'll have to work something out in terms of ties related to that. But I'd be amazed if we get to that point. But yeah, everybody plays everyone, and I will say currently of the top 20 of the tour, there are 17 going. Of the top 30, there are 23, I think, or 22 out of the players. So it's going to be a high level of Crokinole all day, I think.
It's also a lot of flick for your buck, isn't it? So to speak.
Yes.
You're getting a lot of games in.
You're getting a hell of a lot of games in.
Yeah, and all very different. So I've been doing a bit of magic with the help of my good friend ChatGPT, working out how we draw all those players so that everyone plays everyone at the same time, but also that they don't play consecutive games on the same board. So they're going to be all moving around the room all the time. So fortunately, I didn't have to do the maths to kind of work out that algorithm because computers are good sometimes. And yeah, so everyone's going to play everyone once. People are moving between different tables. And yeah, it's going to be a fun day of Crokinole and then lunch and then more Crokinole.
So that's approximately 5 hours playing.
Yeah, we've got 7 hours of playtime. Yeah, we've got 7 hours of playtime to work with effectively. So there's no rush. That's the other part
playing
of it.
Crokinole for 5 hours. That really is
Brilliant.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
love it.
So I've in other tournaments sometimes we're kind of under the time constraint, obviously trying to make sure stuff moves forward. With this, we will still do timed rounds and things like that, but it's going to be a little bit more open than maybe like the sharp full 8 minutes per match kind of thing. We've got a little bit more time to play.
Yeah,
which is
I think the great thing about this, having spoken to you about it at Airecon, is just the excitement that I'm actually going to get to play everybody, because even though I've been on the scene, for the last 2 years, there are still people that I've never played. I don't think I've ever played Steve Burrows. I might be wrong. I'm sure he'd remember that. Because I am once seen, never forgotten. But I think there are people that I've met many times at these things and have actually never played them. So this will be brilliant.
Yeah, I think it's a different format for us to try, so I think it's worth a shot. It's also an opportunity. It should result in the same way of maybe like a football league season or whatever, that the best player, the best team, the best player overall kind of rises to the top naturally, because it's all about consistency over a number of matches. It's not kind of luck of the draw. Well, you know, I had a couple of seeded players, but then also, like you say, some events you end up playing against a load of new
Yeah.
players, and maybe it's a little bit.
I think you're underselling it a bit there, Ryan. You know, you play a consistent number of games. Well, yeah, or a certain number of games. I think you said. Look, you're going to play. If it's full, you're going to play 29 games,
Uh-huh.
and there'll be no mugs, and you'll have to be bringing your A game to every single game if you want to win.
You will be the master.
And
Yeah,
well, this is it. This is it. And the other part of it as well is that everyone's being assigned a number randomly. So you might end up playing second, third, fourth, you know, in the tour, just in a row. It's just the way it's been drawn. Like it that's the nature of it. So, but I don't think there are any easy games at the Masters. So I think it's going to be, it's going to be high quality all day. And yeah, there is a bar opening up at about midday as well. So, you know, that might impact some players' performances.
Some players' performances that shall remain nameless.
Mm. But yeah, we're doing it at Wally Range Cricket and Tennis Club, so somewhere slightly different. And they're really excited to have us. They're absolutely fascinated by the whole idea. I've had a couple of messages where they're going, "Oh, some of the members want to come down and kind of just see what's going on and all this sort of stuff." So there may be even a cricket match going on outside at the same time, which I think will just add to the whole kind of like competitive spirit. And yeah, I think it's going to be.
I'll be careful of my shouts of "How's that?" then, because that's what I tend to do when a disc flies off and I catch it. Still appealing to the umpire.
So does that mean at lunchtime we can probably just go outside into the kind of pavilion balcony and
onto the boundary basically, so it kind of like spills out directly onto the boundary. So
with a pint and watch the cricket for a bit.
Absolutely.
We'll play in the afternoon.
So there'll be maybe not. There'll be a players pack going out shortly. We're going to see if there's people interested in doing see if there's interest in going for a meal. Usual kind of stuff that we do around these events. But yeah, I'm hoping it's going to be a good one, and I hope everybody enjoys this experiment with the format, because I think it's something a little bit different. And it like you were saying, Jason, I think it puts the emphasis on the player who is going to win it is going to have to just be the best player on the day.
It's an absolute marathon. I love it.
It's a different mindset as well, isn't it? Like we were talking earlier, you know, you can have a good game in the pools, and then that knockout Crokinole is very, very different. And actually now it's going to go to one of these people that are going to stay calm and have a bad result and just be able to brush it off and move on, which is not something I'm very good at.
Yeah, well, with there being no knockout matches either, it doesn't play up to the idea of that at all. Now, it could be that, you know, 3 or 4 games before the end, it's already clear who's won, but that doesn't really matter, I don't think, because you're ultimately fighting out for tour points, you're fighting out for positions on the day, so there's a lot to be played for. With there being a cap of 30 players, I think basically you're going to be scoring tour points pretty much, and unless you're going to get the minimum if you're in the last 2 or 3 spots, so there's points available. I think it's going to be a great day. I think it's going to be a challenge. And I hope everybody enjoys it. That's all, because I'm passionate about the idea of running it like this. I think it's going to be an interesting way to do it. And I've been kind of quite keen and flying the flag for running this format since I realised we were going to move it. And I was trying to sell it to everybody at Airecon, who I said, "Oh, you're going to get to play everyone, you know."
Yeah, it's certainly exciting. It's great. It's nice to, in a game where there's not much variety in terms of the actual game other than singles and doubles. It's great to have a new format. One thing I was going to ask you was, how is the table going to be updated? Like, are we going to know kind of who's ahead of us? And
well, so we could have done it live like that, but that would mean collecting the results after each match, which actually just adds a lot of admin time. We'd also have to have a scorekeeper in place then to do that.
Yeah.
And although I didn't play in Wrexham when I was looking after the event, I actually really do want to play in this. And I think because of the nature of who the Masters attract, in terms of experienced players and so on, they kind of run themselves. So I might do a halfway point, so lunchtime tally up where everybody's up to. We can kind of have like a halfway.
Yeah.
See where things are at, and then just have to play through the afternoon. It'd be lovely to be able to do it live, like on a projector or something like that. It'd be really exciting to kind of see. But it does also mean that if someone has run away with it and has won it 4 or 5 games before the end,
it's hard work.
Everyone would know.
Yeah.
Everyone would know. Whereas actually, there's always still a little bit of doubt if maybe the top 2, 3, 4 players who are fighting out in reality are not playing each other at the end. They're not going to know, are they? And they might want to be a bit secretive about what their current score is anyway, because they don't want to tell anyone, you know.
Oh, yeah. No, I love the idea of the big reveal.
Yeah, so it doesn't have the climax of, say, like a knockout final or something like that, but maybe it will have just a slightly different kind of feel and vibe to it. I might even encourage people not to reveal their scores or anything like that to anyone at the end, and we'll just do a big table. But we'll see. I'm not gonna be too fussed if they do say, but
oh no, keep your results secret. That's great.
Yeah. So we'll kind of see how it goes on the day, and yeah, hopefully if it's a format that works, then we can kind of maybe use this just for the Masters kind of going forward, because the people who are coming to this event are the ones who do want to play a load of Crokinole.
And they're certainly going to get that.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm a bit nervous about it, but I'm also very excited about it as well. I won't be winning, so it doesn't really matter. There's only one person I need to finish above, and we all know who that is. And if I don't, I'll be blaming the fact I'm running the event. So it's a win-win for me either way.
Running the event. It's a great catch-all, that one.
Oh, isn't it just? Oh, I'm TO, so, you know.
Don't expect me to do well.
No, that's it. I'm your. If anything, if you don't beat me, you're doing badly.
The mind games have begun. It's Fergie time.
Oh well, we are going to Manchester, so
Fair
you know.
enough.
Oh no, my references are on point, Ryan. Don't you worry. I thought it through.
I appreciate it. So yeah, that's the Masters, and yeah, excited, looking forward to it. But there's you know there's other events coming up as well.
UK's is going to be at a slightly non-traditional time, isn't it? It's the last weekend in May this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the 31st of May, right? Because the 1st of June is the Sunday. So it's at the NEC again. And we've sort of teased it a little bit. I don't even know if we've said the number specifically in previous episodes, but Ian wants to run an event that has the potential to have over 100
That's just
players,
madness.
Right? It is. So that's going to be exciting. But the tickets are available. So if you haven't got a ticket yet, do go and grab one. Some will sell out as well. Some will sell. You know, it kind of picks up as you get closer to the event. So if you do want to grab one, and make sure you've got a space. The heats are being split, so you'll be assigned either a morning or a late morning or early afternoon heat. It's kind of you'll get a message that tells you which one you're coming to, and yeah, it's going to be bonkers, I think. I was exhausted after last year. I don't know about you, Terry. So I don't know how we're going to cope with running 100.
It'll be all right. It's just more people. Yeah, time constraints probably about the same. It's just a different way of.
True.
It's just a different way of running it. They'll be fine.
They'll
be fine.
Splitting the heats is a nice idea as well for the board gamers among us, considering you're in, you know, the mecca of of board games there. And actually knowing that you don't need to turn up until a certain time is quite nice to have a quick run around the dealers hall or whatever. I
think that was kind of...
There's plenty to do, isn't there?
Yeah. That was sort of part of the thinking of it as well, that if you're paying to get into Games Expo, that you want to have an opportunity to go to other places, but also it reduces the amount of boards that we need in order to kind of run an event at that scale.
Yeah.
But it also, if it doesn't quite sell out, we can kind of split people out, you know, equally and things like that. So it gives us a little bit more flexibility as well. So I think it's going to be exciting. Hopefully we get loads of support. I mean, every year at Expo, there seems to be loads of people sitting down to play Crokinole when they see that the tournament is, you know, in between rounds or they've got free boards. It's ridiculous. I think I spent more time teaching people to play it during the tournament than I did actually like looking after and helping do the tournament run.
That's all part of it. It's all part of the missionary work.
Losing my voice by the end, but yeah, no, it's good. It's going to be good. But there's a couple of events following that as well. So post-season, we've got a couple of casual, what we call them, standalone events. That's what we're calling them, isn't it? Standalone events. We've got a big one I want to give a shout out to is in Leicester at the end of June. And that's Sammy Nor's event. So he's running doubles and singles at the Leicester Cribbage Club.
I think that's about right, yeah. Or Bridge Club.
The old LCC.
Yeah, so,
Bridge Club.
yeah, there's details of... Oh, the Bridge Club. Sorry, not Cribbage. Bridge.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
I'll say it, Bridge Club.
LBC.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the Leicester King of Croc, which I love, is a great name. A great name for a tournament. And yeah, please go and support that if you're local to Leicester or just in the area and you can kind of get down there for the 28th of June. There's a doubles event, there's a singles event. Sammy's running this event for the first time, so please support it if you can. It's a standalone event. Sammy's a great guy. If you've not met Sammy, he's a great laugh. He's a really, really good guy. So please go and support that if you can. And then the following standalone event is... I'm going to do it in Welsh.
Please do.
A cwrw a crokinole.
Cwrw.
So
Okay.
it's the cwrw is beer. So it's the Beer and Boards Crokinole Tournament at Bragdy Cubby, or the Cubby Brewery, in Holyhead. So I'm running that as a local event that's similar to the kind of pool event, 18 spots. And yeah, it's going to be in Cubby Brewery, who are very kindly going to give out prizes for the event as well. So that definitely means beer. And I will say, their beer is really, really good. I've been there a couple of times and it's excellent. And others will tell you I'm a bit of a beer aficionado. So if I'm speaking highly of it, I'm putting my reputation on the line. It's very good.
It's Crokinole. It's summertime. It's a brewery. What's not to like?
It's a lovely
It is
thing.
Holyhead. Yeah,
It's a lovely thing.
It is Holyhead, but it's on the edge of Holyhead, so you're fine.
All right. Yeah, I really want to get to that one. I think it'll just be a hoot.
Yeah, it's going to be good fun. And that's on the website as well. It's £5 to enter. And it's going to be an evening tournament. So they normally have a couple of like street food vans outside, or they get Deliveroo guys running to and from the town, bring takeaways out to the brewery, which is great. But their beer is excellent, I will say. So if you can come along and support that in Holyhead, I would really appreciate it, because I do need boards.
I don't want to see you. I just need boards.
Yeah, no, I want to see people there as well. I'm hoping. What's interesting with that as well, just to kind of fill you in a little bit, where I'm actually doing a small Crokinole taster event in May at the brewery. So the brewery have said, we're happy to run it, but do you mind coming and doing a little taster on a Sunday night that we can advertise to locals to come and try the game? So they're really buying into it, which I think is really cool and really exciting. The owner's really nice, Dan, and he's kind of really engaging with it. And he was like, I'd really appreciate it if you can kind of put everything out bilingual so that it's English and Welsh, because that's really useful, which we've done. So it's English and Welsh even on the Crokinole UK website. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. I think it's going to be fun. I hope people come along to it. And like you say, summer, beer, Crokinole.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. So yeah, keep checking on the Crokinole UK website for upcoming events. It won't be long before we start posting stuff for next season, will it? Really?
Yes.
Which is frightening.
That's come around quick.
Yeah. It's you think Tabletop Scotland tickets have gone on sale?
Tabletop Scotland tickets are on sale. There will be Crokinole. Early discussions going on with some stuff around that, potential sponsorship. So it's that hot off the press that I've not even told Ryan yet.
Yeah. It's exciting.
The St Albans is booked.
Wrexham's booked.
So yeah, all these dates will be out and finalised before too long.
Do you know what? It does increasingly feel, well, maybe not feel, it does increasingly sound like we know what we're doing.
It's just familiarity.
Yeah. There you go. Jason's very quiet now. He's like, yeah, no, it sounds like it, but
obviously not.
Well, no, I mean, I do think, yeah, you do talk a good game, don't you? But do you know what? Actually, you've given me an opportunity to come on here and talk to you two, which is no better. There is no better way to spend a Monday evening than this. But on behalf of everybody, we often talk about it in the
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Thanks, Jason.
Yeah. When people come along, support the events, and they have a good time, there's not a better feeling. I think I said previously on the podcast during the last tournament at Wrexham, I think it was some point in the afternoon, I just sat back and I just was like watching everybody playing and listening to the chairs creaking and the click clack of the discs and everything. And there was all that sound, yes, but the other sound was just this kind of low hum of like happy chatter. And that is, you're like, everyone's having a good time, because that's ultimately all I really care about if I host an event is, yeah, the running of it, the admin, yeah, fine, whatever, but it's people having a good time. That's all you kind of can hope for, I think. You want people to take it seriously, to be competitive, fine, that's not a problem, but you just want people to come away feeling like, yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah.
So, and hearing that people have done that and that they're grateful is nice. It does make it worthwhile.
And that they're willing to come back. We must work harder. Must work harder to scare them off, Ryan.
Well, if there's ever any other want or need for Blood on the Croktower, I'm happy to.
Oh, yeah,
I'm happy to stick it in the car and bring it with us. Kind of wherever we go, and if we can find a spot, I'm happy to do it. But again, it's a bit like that, isn't it? As a storyteller, you don't get to play, but you're facilitating everyone else's enjoyment, aren't you? And yeah, that was great the other day when we all got together.
Fun. Even if I was savagely murdered the first night.
Yeah, Tom won that as well, didn't he? Well, actually, should we put that down to Jess?
Yeah, it was Jess, 100%.
Yeah, it was great. That was great fun, actually. Maybe that's our next podcast. We'll do a Blood on the Croktower podcast or YouTube channel or something.
Well, that'd be fun.
It was very good. Awesome. Cool. That's kind of it from me. I don't know if anyone else has got anything else to add.
That's it from me.
It's goodbye from him.
Well, thank you for coming on, Jason. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, lovely to see you, man.
Thank you for having me. It's been great. I've always dreamed of being on radio, and this is the closest I'll get. Until the Crime Watch appeal.
Awesome. And thank you, Terry, as always. Yep.
Yeah, I'll do.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. Thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate it. If you could like, share, subscribe to this podcast, we'd really appreciate that as well. And
are you starting that now? Are you?
Oh, I'm definitely.
I know we said we would do it as a one-off after the last one.
I'm going all in.
This episode. You are.
I'm going all in. I don't care anymore.
Right. Well, I'm gonna like ensure there's some balance about our reportage of the Crokinole world in the UK perspective of. See, I've even got a catchy catchphrase there. So don't subscribe, don't listen to Ryan. You do you. And back to Ryan.
Yeah. Completely undermined. Lovely.
What we need is a catchy jingle to see us out.
I was going to introduce a song, but that's fine. Whatever. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
No, do your song, Ryan.
No. Goodbye, everyone. Listen to this song. Bye.
Well, there's a man named Terry, a Crokinole pro, with a pint in his hand and smooth liquid flow. He don't need two hands, no, that'd be rude. One hand's for shooting, one holding his brew. He's playing one-handed, getting tipsy and bold, sinking 20s while his beer stays cold, balancing both like a true champ should, till the board starts spinning. Wait, that ain't good. Now Terry starts strong, he's sinking them slick, till beer number 4 makes his eyes play tricks. The disc hits a peg that flies through the air. His opponent looks shocked, but Terry don't care. He's playing one-handed, getting tipsy and bold, sinking 20s while his beer stays cold. But his fingers get wobbly, his shots go wild. Now he's flicking like a toddler, missing by a mile. Terry's at 8 pints, he's deep in the zone. He leans for a shot, but he's lost all control. Misses the board, flicks his disc to the floor, and somehow it rolls through the front bar door. He's playing one-handed, getting tipsy and bold, sinking 20s while his beer stays cold. But his fingers get wobbly, his wrist takes a twist. Now he's flicking like a fish, trying to punch with its fist. He's playing one-handed, way past his prime. Tried trick shot, fell off his chair this time. He's a Crokinole legend, a beer flicking king. But someone take his pint, man, he can't see a thing.
Cool. So we'll see you again. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe.
Oh, hang on a minute.
Oh,
Sorry. I thought we'd actually finished then.
The cracks have shown.
Yeah.
I'll go again, shall I?